Good evening, Nick. Cracker in store for us for the right to face Tom Cousins in another Pro Series final. It's players won't think like this, but for us just watching, it almost feels like the long, slow death, doesn't it, to yet another Tom Cousins victim. It just feels relentless from him at the moment.
It is. It's amazing what he's doing in these fields. It's just unfathomable. But one of these two players is going to have a say in this event yet, and I'd be interested to know kind of mindset of these two now, because Neil came to a really sticky game against my brain is...
Oh, it's been a long day, hasn't it? He played Carl earlier and he played Rob after.
Yes, Rob, sorry.
There you go.
My brain just went blank for a second. A really sticky game and a lot of mistakes between those two players.
Scrappy, wasn't it?
It really was, and Neil knows he's going to have to up his game. We said on the comms during that game that Shaun would be watching it thinking, if you bring that game tonight, I'm happy. So Neil really knows, you know, he's on a kind of on a free roll really after that one, because, you know, if Rob could have taken it by the scruff of the neck, he would have walked away and, you know, with the... He'd be in this seat instead.
Yeah, although I will say, you know, I watched Neil's game with Carl earlier on and looked really, really sharp, did Neil, in that one. And there's been a definite uptick in the form of the Razor in recent weeks. Mentioned it to me earlier that, you know, winning breeds confidence. He's had good runs in the last man standing, and he and Andy Blurson qualified through the Pairs Cup.
I guess in some ways it kind of represents Neil's path for the last couple of years. It's been inconsistent, and
which you never thought you'd say with Neil Raybone, who was known as Mr. Consistent, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a new game, and he will treat it as such. He's professional enough not to let that previous performance bother him. He knows he's got it in him to play absolute perfection, and he can. And should be a very, very good game. Well matched, these two. And this is a great start.
Yeah, it'll be a settler. Both these two have been at this stage before. Shaun Storry has won an Ultimate Pool event. Neil Raybone yet to break his Ultimate Pool duck, but a multiple-time major winner down the years.
I mean, similarly, I guess Neil just also takes heart from what Tom's just done, because Tom really struggled earlier against Aaron Davis. He made more mistakes than I've seen him make in any match for a long time. He came through that game and now has just cruised through the last one. So, you know, they can just reset. They're at the kind of level where they can put those things behind them, and that really is a great start from Neil Raybone. Breaking in frame two. This is the break that he was using earlier. It's quite an unusual break. It seems to have been started by Declan Brennan. It's one that he uses now. The player's coming wide, almost to where you would play the cut break. Not quite as wide as that, but playing the front ball break. It's been effective for him throughout the event so far.
Table for me, that's the crazy thing, isn't it? I mean, you can see actually that slow-mo replay was fantastic to see it. There's just no room for the cue to go, so it just has to fly off his hand because you can't put it anywhere else. Yeah.
Typically after me saying that, he's gone dry. And Shaun with a pretty decent chance. He's got the red on the right side cushion, which he needs to think about. Well, I think he's going to deal with that right now. He's probably going to play the red as a double. He's got an angle just to come down and come inside the yellow, push the yellow aside and hold on the red.
Yeah, double looks certainly on.
Yeah, he'll definitely fancy this. Just about the cue ball.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to lose the cue ball. Needs to hold on that red. And didn't. And now puff of the cheek says it all. I'm not sure he's got anything here.
Yeah, I don't think the red that you can see near the baulk line in the middle of the three
Well,
whether it passes is question 1. Whether he can get to the potting angle is question 2. I think he can get there, but does it slide past?
Oh, I didn't think it did, but that's a bonus if it does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is there.
Overhead was fooling us. Yeah, great camera shot to see that. And it goes.
Still has that ball on the right hand side. It's not too bad now because it links up with the ball at the bottom of the table. Just need to then think about where the 8 ball goes.
I think it might be a right middle job. He could just almost take these out in a bit of a square, really. Top left, top right, bottom left.
Yeah. Needs to get this right though. No, slid by.
That'll be a reroute now. Getting onto the 8 ball's going to be tricky off that one at the top of the table.
Yeah, I think he has to play the one to bottom left now. He's hampered to the one to bottom right. You could just cue beside the yellow. It might not be too bad. The one to bottom left's okay though. He's got a lot of margin of error. Just the cue ball just naturally drifts back up the middle of the table. Just the wrong angle again though.
Yeah, getting to the side cushion for this red to the bottom right is again looks a bit of a pain.
And you called it earlier. I mean, the last thing you want to do is leave that ball on the right cushion as your last ball to get on the 8. So he's taking it now. Use the yellow to hold the cue ball. Needs to cam it 4 ball though. We use the 8 ball. A miss.
Yeah, not the first visit to the table that Shaun Storry would have wanted. He's never really looked in control.
No.
We were disappointed with that.
8 ball was in danger, but just goes to the top knuckle. Actually, the 8 ball landing where it has caused Neil a bit more of a problem now because he's got the yellow just above. But he's going to play a loss of turn here and leave Shaun in a snooker.
Yeah, that has to be the way.
Yeah. Just wondered if he'd left an edge. I think he has just left an edge, but it's not going to do Shaun any good. He's certainly not got the potting angle.
Yeah, look at 2 cushions here to try and make it top right. Not easy.
Yeah, clocks against him too. He's check side.
Yeah, that was plan B, I think. He wasn't lining that up originally. Just that's a bit more guesswork, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really tough. Look at Neil Raybone here. You've still got a shot to play.
Yeah, I mean,
Cue ball in hand is great, but
yeah.
it's not an easy ball to move, that yellow, because you're so wary of that 8 ball.
Yeah, you have to go cushion first, I think. Just to come behind it. It's going to screw onto the cushion and tap it out from behind, I think. Just grazed it, but that's still no good.
Yeah, cue ball in hand, you'd say it's a little bit unforgivable actually from Neil Raybone.
Yeah, that's why I wondered if he might come from behind it, because you bring it out into the open rather than push it towards the 8.
I wondered the same. Was there a way you could play that ball direct and then still find a snooker? But yeah, happily enough, despite that first shot going wrong, he landed with the perfect angle to try it again second time.
Yeah, it's a great thing about having that many yellows on the table. He's always going to be left with options, and now it's a really simple layout. So the yellow, the top of the table won't pass. I don't think it passes to the top right. So he's just come above it, taking it to middle. No, it's a different player from the quarter-final. I mean, from Tom's perspective, he won't mind, which player he plays. But I mean, I heard you ask a question of Tom earlier, whether he wants, whether he'd prefer to play Shaun or Neil. I didn't actually hear the answer there.
Well, it was quite interesting. I don't know if we got 100% a truthful answer, to be fair, from TC. He's not absolutely obliged to tell me the honest truth when I ask him a question like that.
But they are practice partners. So
yeah, absolutely. I asked him, and he said, to be honest, no, I don't mind who I play out. They're both great players. I know whoever I get, it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Well
stock
answered,
answer.
Prime Minister Cousins.
Yeah, the stock answer.
But, it'd be interesting to know the real answer to that, but only Tom will know that.
Yeah. In reality, the way he plays, I don't think he'll care too much.
No. And why would you? The record he's got at the moment.
Very effective, that cut break. It finds that second ball down. It's the ball that you make contact with off the break and tracks towards the middle.
Break.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at the layout he's left.
It's pretty much textbook cut break. The pace, the power, the split, you're always targeting the yellow that you make contact with into that left centre. That's the ball that you hope goes to the left centre. And
I tell you what, I thought this frame, when it first came out, I thought, this is over, look at the layout. But the yellow right at the top of the table is a pain, and so much so he's going to take reds.
Yeah.
Yellow doesn't pass the red to the top right, certainly doesn't pass the 8 ball. So red's the choice then for Shaun Storry. That helps.
Lovely.
Yeah, that's all your hard work done. Yeah. That's perfect. He's still got the red to the top right. That's on the right side rail, but he's got good ways of getting there.
He's got the right angle now. If he wants to take the ball to top left, he's got an angle to dislodge it. And if he hits it full ball, he's guaranteed to be on something.
Yeah. I think that's his plan.
I'm not always an advocate for moving balls, and well, Shaun's just deciding. Actually, this is a better angle because you can control it better. Just come down and give it a kind of cushion first nudge. You aim them.
Yeah, you don't need to do too much with it, do you?
Yeah, cushion and ball at the same time. Just like that. Perfect.
Yeah, good call. Shaun Storry in ship shape to win his first frame of the semi-final. He's had a few of these. Mentioned it in his interview earlier. He reckons about 10 or 12.
Just needs to play a cannon here. Cannon onto the yellow. So he just needs to make sure he controls it. That was a little bit of the problem, because I was thinking earlier when he developed that red, he would have loved it to have landed an inch or two further up the table, because if he didn't get that contact right, the one to middle is a bit too thin, and now he's got a really thin one up into that top left pocket, so this isn't ideal. It would have been a gimme had that red just stopped a couple of inches lower.
I like the way he's gone about that though. He knew he could target the yellow.
Yeah.
Got it a bit thin actually, thinner than he would have liked, so the cue ball came more across this near side, but in the end that's probably ended up helping him, because even though he looks pretty straight on this red, he can just run through, take short position on the 8 ball.
I think he stuns it. I think he just comes back a few inches and leaves himself quarter ball. Only because you can let your arm go.
Yeah.
If you try and top that through, it just becomes a bit more of a fiddly shot. And Shaun prefers to give them a bit of a, just stun them in.
Yeah.
And this was always going to be unmissable anyway, so.
How's that strike?
Lovely contact.
Just got one.
Yeah. One of the last balls moving, got kicked in. He deserved the ball, in fairness.
Got this really nice, didn't he?
Lovely contact. Look at the way he parks that cue ball as well. It kind of, you see the top spin take effect and almost stops and then just reverses. Yellows, again, all have a pocket, look really good. Just about keeping the cue ball on the string. The yellow that looks crowded, passes to top left, so very makeable chance. Oh, unless it doesn't. I wonder if it's going to move. Wow. I thought that ball went.
Yeah, I was with you, to be honest.
He had the perfect angle to come up and dislodge. Just got a bit of a tricky one now. Just slightly hampered queuing. He uses the extension. This is the key to the frame here. If he makes this ball, this is something he was doing really well in his quarterfinal. He was stroking these balls in.
A very good stroke of a ball is Neil Raybone.
I don't think he's any good here. No.
Yeah.
The reaction says it, I think. Or is he? Is he? It's tight. It's very, very tight.
Oh, you're going to need to turn it, I think. Oh, he's queuing it straight in the middle. Oh, Neil.
Oh.
He's doing the Phil Harrison on it.
I would say. You just saw the shoulders kind of slumped, and I thought,
well, I saw the overhead, and I saw him put like just an angry finger down on the table to like tick himself off. He's absolutely perfect. Yeah. Ball in hand, perfect, Neil. Come on, play the game. Good start from the razor.
Lovely, really nice.
Little hand up of apology.
Yeah.
I don't like that. You played to be on that ball, and you are on it.
Yeah. So the ball is contacting that yellow, target in the middle pocket. Keep your eye on that one.
It's got a narrow cut break of his, isn't it?
Yeah, it just came low. And quite often, when you don't get that ball, they can go dry, but he had so much power in that break. That's a really powerful cut break. And that ball up the table, and back down, finds the pocket, and he's away again.
He was initially unhappy, wasn't he?
Bit of work, a bit of work. There's a couple of each set tied up, and because of that, he's trying to duck for cover. Actually, he's left a red. Not only has he left a red, he's left an angle for Neil to dig down into this. He can pot the red and screw back into the red just below that's the problem ball and develop it. Shaun was trying to get that cue ball glued in behind the yellow. And that's a bit of a mistake, because this solves one of the problems. I wanted a slightly thicker contact just to get that red a bit further down the table. It's still a problem now. He's got a lovely angle on the one to bottom left to develop his other tough ball. But he now needs a plan for the one on the left cushion. So he's going to screw across. Ideally you take the red. Yeah. See, he glanced the yellow and the red, which is no good. If he just comes across and takes the red clean, then he can't fail to develop that ball. And now this is very tough. Just gets to the potting angle. He's left it thin. Still has to worry about that ball on the left-hand side. I think he's probably resigning himself to doubling it. So he's not going to be able to develop it now. If the yellow wasn't there, he could try and develop it from this shot, but I think the yellow next to the red is in the way of that.
Oh, it's going to fall in.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. He can just come around side cushion, top cushion, leave himself a double. And he's just looking at the angle he wants.
Yeah, I think he'll take this, you know.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if he's really brave, he does have the angle to come around and develop, but I think the yellow he plays big. You just take your medicine here and double it.
Exactly what he's done.
Yeah, that's fine. And he was playing doubles superbly earlier in the quarter. Made some cross corner doubles. Got them all. Always lines them up. Comes around and looks at the angle. I think he just needs to play this with a little bit of pace just to straighten it up. Yeah, you could see just a tiny bit of pace. If he could have just dropped that in dead weight, then he would have held for the 8 ball, but he had to play it with a pace, which has left a slightly trickier 8. It does pass the yellow. It's tight. And he's on the cushion as well, which
That's the biggest problem.
adds a little level. Nice.
And it flies though.
Yeah, he's in control here.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of making presentable finishes look more difficult than they actually are, but he's getting out most importantly.
Yeah.
He's just maybe putting a little bit more care onto them, but yeah, he's going really nicely here.
Yeah, he won't care how he gets there. He just wants to get there. As I say, there's no pictures on a scorecard. Oh, disaster for him.
Oh, what a funny break.
Yeah.
Because look at the split he's got. But he's rocketed that straight into the middle pocket.
But to mistime it by that much, I mean, he's literally hit that front ball, half ball to send that cue ball across. I mean, if you hit anywhere on the left-hand side of that front ball, the cue ball cannot possibly go across that way. So he's literally missed it by half a ball. Looks like he's just given up accuracy for a bit of extra power there. Shaun will love it.
Yeah, he looked like he couldn't believe what he'd done, Neil Raybone, really.
Yeah, I think because he missed it by that much.
Great opportunity for Shaun to get himself back into the game here. 5-1, and it may well be game over. 4-2, it's game on.
Yeah, and this is perfect. Just a nice angle, just to drop down, and he wants to give the 8 ball a little nudge. The only thing he needs to think of here is he doesn't want to push the 8 towards the red and block it, because he's not guaranteed to be on the one that he's developing. And the 2 at the top of the table are covering each other. Yeah, perfectly judged. See, if he hits that 8 a little fuller, could have pushed it towards the red, and the cue ball would have come slightly lower, and he may not have had a shot. It's just those tiny fine margins that can make the difference. Just nip this back and doesn't have to use the cushion any more of an angle, and he might have been in a bit of trouble there, because the cue ball would have been tracking towards those yellows, but he just had enough there to be able to nip it and pull it back. So it was a wonderful chance from that mistake from Neil Raybone. Shaun Storry snaffles it gladly and pulls it back within 2 frames.
Yeah, massive frame to win for Shaun Storry there, and he took full advantage.
There we go. That
cut break, that is.
Yeah, that ball that you're always targeting, that was the one that went in that time into the pocket he was aiming for. It's amazing how regularly that goes in. If you contact it perfectly, all the force goes through the pack and that ball just bounces back out to the middle. Very consistent. Originally came from, I think possibly from the Chinese game, that idea, because they started consistently making that ball. A little bit of work, the red just above those two yellows. I think he was trying to leave an angle on the one to middle so he could go up and go into it. I think he's overhit that one slightly. This would have been the ideal ball to develop that red. And may still be, because he's had a go at it.
It's not ideal.
Well, do you know what? If he's just off straight here, I'm not sure he's got the right angle or not, but if he's just off straight, he's had a result because he could top through.
I think he's just off straight the wrong way.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, you can see there, a lovely shot from our cameraman again, who's got on form.
He's on the ball to the top right. It's just whether he can get in and on and off the side cushion, miss the yellow into the red. No, he's left an angle now.
He battered that in.
He's straight again though. I'm not sure. He's going to have to force this across.
Yeah, he's pretty straight, but he's got a bit of room here to wiggle with.
Yeah, I know, but he's going to have to play this with some serious pace to get that cue ball across into the yellow, enough to nudge the red out. He's just got a bit of angle, just probably enough. Yeah,
that'll do. He's going to have to play it next, though.
He's going to have to play it. Going to have to play it long. He could try and drop it in the middle, but that's treacherous, and the cue ball's going.
Yeah, I don't fancy that. Don't like that shot at all.
No. And also, like, the cue ball, he's probably going to be snookered on his next shot on the last two balls, so he's going to have to take this long.
I think the shot long is quite makeable.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's all in his eye line.
Yeah, he'll fancy this. Needs to run the cue ball through. Nice.
He's going to get there. By hook or by crook. They've not been clean kills for Shaun Storry, the frames that he's racked up on the board.
Lots of room to play into here.
So much room.
I think there's a lot of players who would have just left that on the left-hand side of the table, but Shaun saw the line. Nice and controlled.
Yeah. And that's why he wanted to be closer, so he could play a shot like this.
Yeah, it was absolutely the right thing to do, but just know there's a lot of players would have taken their medicine. Playing the red from the left-hand side of the table, he couldn't have got as close as he did on the 8 ball.
There's the shots where he finds a bit of strength. Cracking break from Razor. Is he going to be punished? He is. Teapot's out.
Goodness, how this game swings.
Brutal.
4-1 up.
And he flushed that break.
And was it 4-1 up and 2 dry breaks, isn't it, for him?
He scratched. Yeah.
Oh, of course, sorry.
A hideous scratch,
yeah.
And then one that he flushes in his dry.
Of course.
Yeah, the echo of that cue ball banging into the rubber of the middle pocket is still ringing in my ears. That's how I remember it.
He really got the pack moving then. A lot of power. Just couldn't find a pocket. And the yellows look good. Quite a bit of traffic on the table, so it just does need, it's not one of those absolute dead set gimme clearances. He needs to work that cue ball, but it's a fairly natural pattern. Won't want to to contact the yellow, so he's going to play that clean, yeah. And now he can use the one nearest the pocket and probably top through. I mean, I'm not sure he's got the room there to screw out. He could pinch the pocket and just screw past the yellow, but I think he probably tops it. No, he can pinch it by the look of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was looking for this exact line. That's where he felt he would end up.
Yeah.
So it looks a little awkward, but that was exactly what he was looking for.
Options here. It's obviously going to be the one to the right hand side, but it's whether he drifts through the gap, stuns the ball. I think he just drifts through the gap. And he's played that to perfection because he can cue through the gap of the reds here, so he's not hampered in any way. And that is almost certainly what he played. Should never make a difference, but it just does make life that little bit easier if you're not hampered.
Yeah, you just feel more comfortable, don't you?
Yeah. Another one he needs to just nip back. May use a red. He won't if he doesn't have to.
Yeah, plenty of room.
Yeah.
Lovely finish this from Shaun Storry. He's picked it apart really well. And from 4-1 down, we're going to 4-all, folks.
Yeah. Now Raybone had 2 breaks of Shaun Storry's serve. Shaun's got them both back.
And we are level.
Big swing on this break here. If Shaun can find a clearance here, he goes into a big advantage. But a dry break and it swings right back to Neil Raybone, and all that hard work's undone. Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Disaster. Cue ball flies off the table.
Well, wait for this replay, Nick. We're about to treat you. Watch this in super slow-mo.
Just gets it airborne. That tells me he probably just came up slightly on the cue ball. If there's any kind of topspin whatsoever, the cue ball's going to fly off the table. When players play those shots, they're playing with an extreme screw to keep the cue ball on the bed of the table.
Yeah, a little bit of topspin, but also maybe just a little bit too much pace. Maybe just trying to put too much into it.
Yeah, I think so. Just a slight misjudgment. It's very rare that happens. And also, obviously, in this rule set, it's ball in hand anywhere on the table.
It's just such a frame decider, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when he hits him so hard, so he gets a great split. He sat back in his chair knowing he's behind. He's got no hope of winning this frame. When he sat back in his chair.
Wow, I mentioned just at the start of this frame that all the hard work's undone.
Yeah, a little bit back the other way.
Yeah. Advantage swings back in the favour of Raybone. Well, that's not far enough.
Do you know what? That's such a careless shot.
And it's a bit tricky as well, because he has to get on and off the top cushion. He needs to play it with a bit of side as well, just to make sure the cue ball stays down this side of the table. I mean, another 3 inches of pace, and this is an absolute formality. And this was the danger. That was the danger.
Wow.
He's in trouble. This ball doesn't go anywhere. I mean, barring some kind of double, that was always the danger, coming on and off the top cushion. If you don't get the side right, surely that's too thin to cut. There's no way. He'd have to shave it. He's going to have to go across table.
Yeah, kick shot it is for Neil Raybone.
And it's above the pocket, so it's a little bit tougher. He's got it. Oh, no, he hasn't.
Oh, that is such a let-off for Shaun Storry.
Massive mistake. Massive mistake.
It's just a lapse in concentration. I don't think you can put it down to anything else from Neil Raybone.
I mean, I don't, maybe he had a kick, I don't know, because I mean, he's missed that positional shot by I mean, he can be four
over here by 6 feet.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not anywhere above the ball, but I mean, definitely you could overhit that. But you could hit that another 6 inches and still have a shot on the 8 ball, have a shot on the red to get onto the 8. So, I mean, maybe you give him some credit there and say he's had a kick because he's missed a positional shot by a long way, and that made it so much more difficult. As I say, the angle was just all wrong to come off the top cushion and come back down the table. You had to judge the side to perfection, and the side took too much and came back, contacted the 8 ball and left him nothing.
Oh, it's such a big error at this point in the match as well.
This is a bit sloppy as well from Shaun.
Yeah, he's played better shots, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you still fancy him to get this one, but he's jacking up. Lucky he's a tall player. The problem is with these, you have to look at the line and then just, there's a bit of judgment, because if you're not down on the ball, you can't see there you go. Players letting each other off. Incredible.
Well, we'll remember this frame at 4-4, that's for sure, come the end of the night. Big 8 ball to make. And make it Neil Raybone does. What a massive frame. Shaun Storry is going to take a second. I can't say I blame him.
No, or me, I think that's exactly what he should be doing. Just go and have a reset after that, because that's a huge let off. I mean, that was just a positional error. He's left himself hampered. So Neil Raybone, the advantage now back with him, but again, it'll all be undone if it's a dry break, and it is. That's 2 in a row.
Can't predict the pendulum in this match anymore, can you? It's all over the place.
I tell you who will be enjoying this tussle. Tom Cousins will be sat in his room thinking, carry on, boys.
Yeah, you sweat it out, lads.
Carry on. He's sat there having a nice cup of tea with a big smile on his face as these two are struggling against each other. Minutes 45 seconds left, so you'd think we'd see a result, but if there's a sticky frame in the middle, then it brings into the question of a 6-red shootout. That yellow's gone a bit smelly. It's gone just to the left of the 8 ball, so now Shaun needs to develop it. He's got the ball to the right of it as we look, that he can use, but he needs to find the right angle. He needs to navigate the top of the table first to get back down for that angle. Yeah, the one on the bulk line now. Leave an angle. I mean, you could arguably leave that that problem until last, because because you could pop the yellow to the right and just come across and stun the 8 ball, and you'll leave yourself on the yellow. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. It's not. I mean, it's just about the line he leaves. It's just about the angle. It's not a difficult shot. Looking at the angle, so pretty much where that yellow. Oh, he's looking at quite an acute angle here. Yeah, I can understand why. This makes it a little bit more natural. So you can, I think he can just float this in. I don't think he really needs to stun it too much. And he wants not quite a full ball contact on the 8 because he could push it towards the reds. Kind of wants a half ball glance. Just the top edge of the 8 would be perfect. That's okay. The 8 could have been a bit easier, but yeah, it looks like, yeah, he can get past the red, so he's just picking the line. Yeah, he's okay here. Oh. Surprised he came across, but
yeah, it's jarring choice, wasn't it? Must have been tighter than we thought.
yeah.
Well. In it rolls.
Hit that low.
Dry.
You hit it a little bit low, and the yellow just comes low of the middle pocket. Yeah, you could see made a contact, almost half ball on that ball where you're attempting to hit the top edge of it. Edge on a round ball. Forget that. I know what I meant.
We all did. We all did.
That was a bonus. I didn't realise he could get through the
Yeah,
gap.
that's helpful.
Yeah, that I was wondering what he was going to be able to do with that ball, but the fact he can get through that gap is a real bonus because it opens up everything.
There is a little bit of work. The red at the bottom of the break line, I don't think goes to its sort of to the bottom right, and its natural cue ball is blocked off by yellow, so just a little bit of work to do there as we tick into the 15-second shot clock as well.
Yeah.
So he just wants to land on this, and he has.
Yeah,
that's nice.
That's good. Picked a nice line. Just needs to navigate the 2 yellows on the left now, on and off the cushion, and miss them both. He needed to miss them both, and he's flicked one into the face of that red, and that just causes him another headache. This would have been an ABC finish if it wasn't for that flick.
Doesn't have time to get too cross about it because the 15-second shot clock will keep him busy.
It needs a miracle now. It needs an absolute miracle.
A decent effort on the double, but it was very tough. And Shaun Storry smells blood.
Just that one unwanted flick. The difference between winning and probably losing the frame.
It might be the difference between winning and losing the semi-final as well at this stage of the match.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I think we can maybe not put the mistakes down to the 15-second shot clock in this frame, but I think you'd be foolhardy to not think the change of pace was a bit of a factor.
The thing is, whoever wins this, then not going to have any time to reset before the final because it's pretty much roll on, roll off. They're only going to have 10 minutes at the most. So they need to really spend some time to clear their head before they go again.
Not easy to do.
No.
Not easy at all to do. And you know, if you fly through a semi-final, you know, sometimes you might think, right, I'm riding really high. I'm just going to surf on the crest of a wave into the final. But they always need to get themselves back up for it here.
Yeah.
Whoever wins this, because both will feel that they've not played well. I suspect, even though generally they've been fine, really. But it's the standards these boys set for themselves and everyone else sets for them, because you look at the days we've had so far, this Thursday and Friday on the opening 2 days, they've been absolutely mega. Shaun is counting clock.
Yeah. Very, very aware of the clock is Shaun. You often see him do this. With 6 minutes 45, you wouldn't think it would play a part, but who knows? No harm in doing it, not losing anything by doing it.
Neil gets a ball, he needed that, and now he needs to not make a mistake.
Wow.
This finish is not easy though.
He has an opener, but the red that just dribbled down the table and came in and settled next to the one above the 8 ball might be a problem. I think the one to the left does pass to bottom left, so actually not a bad chance.
Yeah, I think
it's a fiddly chance, but it's there.
Yeah, top right for middle, and then one of the... We had to bend that as a foul.
Neil.
He just went too far. He wanted to be a little bit shorter, and so he could see the potting angle, but he had to turn it. And disaster strikes for the Razor. Shaun Storry can book his spot in the final.
Yeah, surely. I mean, that was the chance that Neil wanted. That was the one that he had, but he couldn't take it. Shaun will be in no rush. Well, he might be in a rush if he doesn't play one soon. You're going to hear the beeps every time he pots a ball. Well, a little nudge. Yeah, he's still okay. He's still okay. Just nudge that yellow. If it travelled another inch and a half, it could have been a problem if it sat on top of the reds, but he's okay. He has to clear this table. I mean, you know, the clock, 4.5 minutes left. There's just an acre of time for Neil, so he has to clear the table. Use his extension.
There's no real point running the clock here, I wouldn't suggest. Although maybe he's thinking, you know, if I don't get there,
Yeah.
Neil's going to need a couple. Shaun will fancy himself against anybody in a 6-red shootout, I would suggest. Maybe that's part of the thinking, part of the strategy. But right here, what he should be thinking about is 4 balls away from a spot in the final. So they are all there.
Just needs to make sure of the angle on his last yellow. And that's why he's going to take this one and release the 8. That makes it simple.
Yeah, that should be job done.
Yeah. Bit of a fiddly one, but he's going to pot this.
And he knows.
Yeah, a little look up. How has he navigated that one? Goodness me.
Shaun Storry once again is a Pro Series finalist. Neil Raybone falls at the semi-final stage, but an excellent tournament nevertheless from the Razor. But Shaun Storry will meet his own old pal Tom Cousins in the final. what a final it'll be, Nick.